PewDiePie's art journey. Some people have been really demotivated by how fast he's improving. Seriously, it took him more than 300 days to pick up a drawing tutorial book, and his art was already good back then. But what made him improve so fast and without using the recommended methods? There's no way I wouldn't sympathize with Pew's art journey, since I did the opposite way than he did. You see, I've always been an anime artist. I would spend a fair amount of time watching him scream his lungs playing Happy Wheels, and he's one of the reasons why my English is half decent now. Just recently, I thought the best way to put my art out there and get noticed by more people was to start a YouTube channel, and it's been doing fairly well. I mean, early PewDiePie art levels of well.
So this all started as a random idea. I wanted to make a progression video, and I picked art because I thought it was easy to track. Like, I'll draw.
Yeah, I feel like art is a thing that has a very low entry bar, and a lot of people try because all you need basically is pen and a paper, and
Draw for 30 days, I can show the first day, and then I can compare it to the last day. That'll be interesting to see. Did I make progress? People were so encouraging on the video, and I really enjoyed picking up drawing, so I kept going. And I did a 100-day one, and people enjoyed it even more. There was no way I was gonna stop. I had to do at least a year. And here
that's very admirable of him. And I'm really proud of him too.
Here we are. Being here, I have so many emotions. I am happy.
I'm exactly like him when it comes to celebrating my goals, because I expect so much of myself. I sometimes lose all the sense of joy in the things I do. So I'm just like him.
All right, let's dig into it. Let's watch. Sorry, my nails. This is where it all...
Well, when you become an artist, it's kind of like your nails. I have a nail that's crooked.
all started 365 days ago. Day 1. Is that a self-portrait?
100% accurate.
Is that Björn? Yes. Yes.
I like how the characters don't have eyebrows.
Man, this is nice to watch. Like, okay, some are not terrible. This gives me
what
confidence.
the hell?
Here's when I started to look up tutorials and stuff online. So you think it'd be better, but they all kind of look like they have some sort of allergy.
Actually, I think that looks pretty good. I would say the ears should be a little bit down. I think they are in the right shape.
Like they ate a lobster and they have a seafood allergy. The chin is very big. I probably would have made it something more like...
Yeah, it's more like a shape issue. It's not like it's too big.
Fix this. I feel bad for future past stuff. Damn, I drew so hard I can't erase. Damn, such a simple change and it's already so much better.
Mirroring progression.
I realize, and maybe other people have said this too, but drawing is more about training your brain to see rather than...
Alright, so he said something very important here. He noticed this very early on while drawing, and this is one of the things that make you improve faster when you notice. There's a video I watched in the Swatches channel a few years ago, and it calls back to the same idea. He says that you have to draw the correct 3D form in order to get a shape, a 2D shape, and it has to be the correct one in order to give that 3D feeling to your drawing. And how you do that? You basically have to learn perspective and take reference pictures. And I saw during his art journey, PewDiePie taking multiple pictures of himself and using them as reference. So I believe this is one of the reasons why he got so good so fast. I'm not saying he's mastered this technique, you know. I'm just saying that he just learned this intuitively pretty quickly.
I think that's a misconception I had. But after 30 days, this was the progress of my first video. I was so happy with it, and I think...
If I were to make a sketchbook tour video, I would flop completely. I would flop completely because it's me. Pewds can do it because it's Pewds, you know? No one wants to watch sketchbook tours.
Yeah, I think I should be, because the progress is definitely there. So this is my progress after 82 days.
I really
84,
like that.
And I really think... Here's where I peaked in terms of if you wanted to just improve as much as possible in the shortest time. I think just adding colors on papers is so...
Okay, I feel like one of the reasons why Pewds improved so fast and so well is that he didn't rush to start adding colors. I noticed that sometimes people want to cover their mistakes with colors, And he did the other way around. He focused on his drawing skills and then he started adding color. This is just a detail, but I feel like this is something that you guys should consider.
So satisfying to look at that it kind of forgives a lot of the anatomy errors.
I'm gonna be honest here, I don't see any anatomy errors, except maybe the ear is a little bit small, okay? But there was this time I was working with an art director and he told me that the ears I was drawing were too small. So even when you're a professional, sometimes you make these mistakes. And you know, in a 3D shape type of thing, this is just perfect. It's like, I can't say there's like too much of a mistake here. Of course, there's a little bit of chicken scratching, but you know, I feel like, yeah, it's perfect.
The poor line work, the sketches still being there, like it's just nice to look at regardless. But yeah, this is the last thing I drew for my 100-day video, and
I remember that one.
Yeah, it's cute. I did it. I drew something. So let's check the progress from there on. That's wrong. First of all, don't do what I did. I just kept drawing the same.
Okay, if you're just trying to have fun just like he did, I can't see how you can't just draw for fun and draw the things you like. I feel like if you're a hobbyist and you're not relying on the revenue for commissions or something like that, you should absolutely take your time and just experiment and have fun, you know?
Anime girl. Too much.
And you know, if he was really relying on the revenue for commissions, I really believe he's not doing the right thing, but
anime.
His improvement was really above average, you know?
Just bad. Just bad. I was trying to be
It's not bad.
Technical and like give myself notes so I can improve. I wanted to be more consistent. I think that's why I kept doing this. But if I had to redo it, absolutely not. This is where I should have moved on to something else. I should have just drawn anything else. And eventually I did. I really wanted to draw more color, but it takes so much time to do that. And I really felt like I needed mileage more than anything. So it just...
I really like how he added color here. I think this is ballpoint pen. Ballpoint pen is a very cool exercise if you want to learn to draw and not get too attached to the eraser, you know? You learn a lot from that.
Adding a little bit of color, sure, we'll ink it, but that's the most effort I'm gonna get into. Yeah, just sketching random stuff I find online. Finally, I move on and I draw boys. This is the boys arc. I drew so much guys from anime because I thought I drew so many mangas. You probably recognize these. I think this is Jujutsu Kaisen. I think, you know, this is a good time for me to address a couple things from my last video. Another thing was that people said I had an art background. That was like a rumor that went around, and I guess I take that as a compliment, but no, I do not.
Okay, I saw people were commenting that, and let me give my 2 cents too, because I do believe in when he says that he never had an art background, because I did the other way around, you know. Like I said, I was an artist and then I became a YouTuber. So Piltz is old. Piltz is 35 years old, from what I looked at. I hope I'm not wrong. But anyway, when you're old and you tried enough things in life, your learning curve for new things you try to learn in life begins to increase. It's like you suddenly get better at learning things and getting better at things, if it makes sense. So yeah, I don't believe he's being disingenuous or anything. After you learn a certain number of things in life, like your curve starts to improve and you start to get better at other things.
I have not studied art.
This is one of the reasons why I think, like, if you're starting art at his age, you actually have a pretty unfair advantage. And I feel like a lot of people think it's too late for them to start working on art. And it's like, bro, if you actually knew the big advantage you have over others when you start late, you would totally consider doing it, you know? I have a friend, she's 40. She started her art career at the age of 40 and she's doing pretty well, so.
That was the whole point of this video. I was not being disingenuous. I have not drawn since I was a kid, but I loved doing Photoshop. Before YouTube, I loved Photoshopping images.
How can that not sum your knowledge, you know? Even if it's something simple like Photoshopping things, this is definitely summing your skill. somehow, you know?
And creating artworks that way. So maybe in a sense that helped. But I think the biggest sort of thing that helped is that I'm actually older. Like I'm 35 now, and I
Exactly. Well, I was right then.
think if I did this thing when I was younger, I would not have.
And people were saying, oh, he doesn't have a lot of time. Yeah, he doesn't. That makes it even more incredible.
Seen the same improvement. But I also think, you know, the improvement I had, anyone can achieve. Like I wanted my video to be inspiring for other people.
Anyone can achieve. I'm not sure. I don't like that type of speech, you know?
People to do the same thing. Like that's my goal. Like people say anyone can draw, and I truly believe that. Oh, and by the way, I wrote
when you say anyone can draw, you're right.
a blog post. Yes, I write blog posts now. It's just more details about my favorite type of notebooks, my favorite kind of pens. If I were to do this challenge again, what would I do differently? How to remain consistent? All these sort of stuff. If you wanted to do this challenge yourself, I recommend checking that out. I just didn't want to get
Yeah, that's pretty good. You should check that out.
too much detail in this video. But an insecurity of mine was brewing, which was I couldn't, like if I wanted to draw anime style, sorry, it's hard to see here. You start with a circle, you draw a middle line, you draw where the eyes are going to be, you kind of figure out how the chin is going to be, the nose, the mouth, the ear.
I just think it's incredible that he's doing it all correctly.
And then you're swirling some hair really quick. This method is so helpful because when you draw, it's all about balance. Like if I drew directly, same thing, and anything is like out of
And he learned all these things intuitively too.
proportion, the whole thing just kind of looks weird. So to draw directly, it was so difficult. So I bought this pen. This pen is amazing.
I started out by drawing directly, and then I took a manga course and I started drawing like the circle and the structure just like it did. And then I started like getting really attached to that structure to the point that my drawings would get so stiff. With time, I needed to detach from that structure again so my drawings would look good again. I feel like that exercise has to be done at some point.
It's a brush pen, and if you squeeze it, ink comes out.
Yeah, and that's when you need to draw with ink or a ballpoint pen again.
And you can draw really slim lines or really thick lines really quickly.
This is delicious.
And I told myself I was going to force myself to use this pen, even though it looks like shit. I was going to really...
It doesn't look like shit. It's delicious. Is shit delicious?
Like, I'm going to use this pen. I need to learn how to draw without the whole circle thing again. At least that's what I wanted to do. And it took some time.
Oh my god, those yellow, oh god, yellow marker
At least that's what I wanted
strokes,
to do.
oh god. Ah.
But I think eventually I started
This looks so good. Oh my god.
to sort of get the hang of it, and you can get kind of really quickly
Yeah, this really looks like manga. What the hell?
satisfying result with the high contrast. I really enjoyed and yeah, it was really fun. But what I should have been doing is draw other things as well.
I really like the stroke variations here.
I did find it amazing, like how I could all of a sudden, even though I never practiced drawing a cloud, I could draw a cloud better than I ever could. So that's cool. Okay, I'm done. But I think something finally sparked in me where before I was like, okay, I just want to draw for the sake of drawing. I don't have any interest in anything. I started drawing
This. I just want to draw attention to this because if you open your favorite manga, like your favorite long manga in the first pages, you're going to see that it looks very similar to this. And it is exactly because, well, mangakas, they start just like builds did. They do it kind of intuitively. They don't start as masters of drawing, you know? And I feel like this is pretty good. This could already become a manga, you know?
manga panels. I started drawing perspective, and I wanted to understand these things. Drawing landscapes. This is Nihei. I love his work so much. So finally, after, I don't know, 300 days of drawing, I picked up an art book. I should have done this ages ago.
Absolutely.
So I picked up a couple art books, some more technical than others, but I really enjoyed this one, Taco, because I enjoyed the style of it. Obviously, everyone has different preferences. I think
He did this so late. I can't believe it. If he really needed the money for commissions, I would be probably like, bro, you're doing it all wrong. You needed to do this so much earlier. But like I said, he's just a hobbyist. Let him have fun.
If you were to be a professional artist, you probably want to pick like a human anatomy book and really study it.
Let me tell you, I've never done this. I've never done this, and it's because you don't actually need this to be a good artist. You just have to know where things connect and the shape of things to be a good artist, you know? It really depends on what you're gonna draw, but for me, I never needed this.
But for me, it's just supposed to be fun, and I think if I'm having fun, I will remain consistent. So at least that's what I was trying to focus on. I picked up books about perspective because I want to learn and I want to understand.
Perspective, exactly. You're not free from learning perspective if you want to draw better characters, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video.
And I think finally that clicked in me. It went from me just wanting to sketch whatever to, no, I actually want to understand these things so I can draw them better. And I wish I did that sooner. Again, this felt like taking so many steps back because I had no clue how to draw a body. Zero.
However, I see that Builds was drawing bodies in his characters, and I have friends who are like almost professionals and they don't try to draw bodies because they think they're not good at it. I really like how he tried things even though he was not gonna do very well at them. It's just, you just have to put in the work and think that, just trust the process sometimes, you know?
I had not practiced it at all. I had sketched so much and it feels embarrassing to admit this.
Look at that many sketchbooks he has there. I have a lot of art folders too at home. That's pretty good.
But like, everyone was so amazed by my 101 that I felt like, okay, well, my year one has to be really good, right? Like, but progress isn't a straight line. Like, I think I was being too hard on myself where I was getting close to a year and I'm like, I don't have anything to show for it. I drew a full body one.
That's
and I'm
so
like
cute.
comparing it to my 80-day one, and I'm like, the 80-day one, it's still better. Even though
it's not. It's a crime to say that this full body drawing is not better than the other one. I'm trying to find it. It is better, okay? And let me tell you, so many people, when they draw a full body, they draw it like a stiff body, and he learned this so fast that he has to draw dynamic characters that I'm really impressed.
And I'm like comparing it to my 80-day one, and I'm
yeah, it's absolutely better, okay?
Like the 80-day one, it's still better. Even though it's just like full body, it's still better. So yeah, if you want to improve, you have to kind of go through the pain of sucking again, I guess.
You know, and a lot of what he's saying is based on personal taste, so yeah, personal taste is very volatile, I guess.
I guess it really felt like, oh cool, like I drew for this much and I don't have anything to show for it. I think I wanted to learn to draw and actually understand anatomy. Before, it didn't matter to me. It was just a hobby, but now I'm like, I want to actually know, like, how do you draw legs? How do you draw different expressions? Yeah, but I felt genuinely in me, like, I can do more. I know I can do more. I know I can do better. And I really wanted that to show. So I really did push myself a lot towards the end here. And that's when I bought an iPad.
Okay, finally. He was showing so many sketches and I was asking myself, where's the performance, you know? Because he was like coloring one thing in there, one thing or other, another there. But when is he actually gonna spend time on a piece? And yeah, I think we're gonna get this now.
Coming in clutch last minute. Super satisfying to draw with a pen on an iPad. But obviously it was way different. So again, it was like a last minute learning curve of me not understanding the program and yada yada yada. So let's go through the last thing I drew, which was on the iPad. So I started off just sketching and I was still too scared to draw bodies. I drew this, which I thought was going to be amazing.
It's pretty good for a first digital drawing, okay?
And I ended up really hating it. I think the colors are fun, but I didn't know how to draw hair. I at least tried to draw like a full body, but I was so scared of getting it wrong that I think I just made it look weird. So I practiced drawing hair, but
his characters are so expressive. I see so many drawings from professional artists that actually look like dolls that I don't know. I think I prefer Pild's art.
But it's just like nothing interesting about it. This is just to try it out. And then I thought, okay, I'm gonna really wow you guys. I studied the line work. I tried my best to draw the act.
You know, I can definitely see that he used hands reference here.
Actual hands. This is gonna be so good. And this is the end result.
I really like this, okay? I don't care what he says. If he were to actually be trying some shading techniques here, like just like ask from PIXIV, I think he would have really succeeded. But I really like it the way it is.
And I genuinely hate looking at it. I've looked at it so much, it just pisses me off. Even now, I don't want to even... In my head, it was going to be so much more, you know? And then you look at it and you're like, oh, cool. That was it, huh? I desperately tried to draw something else because I don't know, like I felt like I could do more, but I kept drawing and I couldn't. Like it just came out looking weird and unsatisfying. This was supposed to be like the most simplest thing ever, like black high contrast with some color. Still, I didn't like it. And I was getting so close to the deadline. I think I have like 20 days left until this video. I drew a full body with perspective and I thought it came out pretty good.
I really like how he understood that when you put a character in perspective, you don't elongate the character, you actually have to squish them. And even though it's not perfect, okay, he's a beginner. Take it easy, Pilds, you're a beginner, okay?
Okay with this one, but I still felt like I could do more. So I sketched for a couple days and I told myself I'm gonna give one last effort. I have to really like it to actually sketch it. And this is the last thing I drew. I finished it.
This is adorable. Ah!
And having the high contrast light, maybe it's wrong, but it's there at least. And I think it makes it more interesting, you know.
I really like it how Pilds is actually trying things, not doing it perfectly, but doing things. I'm really proud of him for that because I have friends who are like, I don't want to do this because I'm so scared of not doing it right. Bro, just do it. Just do it. You know, maybe it's not okay, maybe it's not perfect, but just do it, okay? Because of our educational system, we tend to get so caught up with failure that it paralyzes us. We can't let that happen, you know? Real life is not like that.
Some shadows and different pose, you know, all of it. I think I'm finally happy with it. I think for a year progress, yeah. Am I allowed to be happy? Like, let's compare. Day 1, day 365.
I'm overjoyed. If you're looking for improving your own art, I have this other video you should watch where I give my own community some feedback, and I hope to see you there.